Carl and Dan here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's track by track time. We are doing another Blink-182 album. It's Enema of the State. I can't remember who did the other Blink with me. It might have been Brendan, and I think we did self-titled a few years ago, which obviously is the far superior best Blink-182 album of all. But Enema of the State is arguably the one that really catapulted them into stardom. The third studio album released June 1st, 1999, by MCA Records, and it was the band's first album to feature their second drummer, the famous Travis Barker, who replaced original drummer Scott Raynor. No secret, I listened to shit of this album at the time. I was big into Blink-182, late 90s, early noughties. Obviously, when they ended after the self-titled, I kind of moved away from it. My taste moved away, and it's never really gone back. I hear some of the new stuff, the stuff they've done in the last decade or so, and sometimes I'm like, hey, that's really cool and that's catchy and all that. But for the most part, I feel I've just moved on from Blink-182.
Yeah, I have a kind of similar story with them, I guess. Like they were one of the first bands that really like put me onto alternative music at all. I remember it was the first date off of Take Off Your Pants and Jackets. That one I really liked. And that was a real gateway song into me for like the rest of the music I like now. And obviously then I found like this album and the other stuff they did after that. So they all it is all quite close to me. And I remember this album very well. Like it has not been erased from my memory. There's some songs you cannot fucking escape from, especially on this album.
Yep.
But
yeah, it holds some of Blink-182's most famous tracks. It's as simple as that. And we kind of start with one of them. We start off with Dumpweed. A straight up catchy blast to open the album, one with rocking at the forefront, but safely pop punk too. It's not aging too well, but I think that applies to a lot of this album. Thankfully, I think the chorus still kind of hits, and the bassy switch up at the end is cool.
She's a fucking nightmare. Unpredictable, it's my mistake to stay here. On the go, and it's way too late to play. I need a girl that I can train.
There's plenty on this song, and if you want a very catchy, fast pop punk opener, like this is that, you know, this is exactly what you're getting.
Indeed. Don't Leave Me. I'm always happy to hear Mark's voice. I am a fan of his singing, but this is a bit of a nothing track, evident by the fact it's also one of the lesser known tracks on an album filled with Blink-182 hits. You got to always look at that. When you come to a track, you're like, I don't really remember listening to this, or I haven't listened to this that much. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this song from back in my day, which is like 2013. Yeah, I remember the song, but I don't remember it that well. It's good. There's plenty here to enjoy, but knowing what's coming, it's just a bit like.
I hear ya. Okay, then we do Aliens Exist. While this is not one of the big ones, it is a beloved Blink-182 track. And for good reason. It's got a fun tone, rhythmic bass, and a ton of catchiness to this. I actually like this one a lot, as I think it's got a great chorus, and the vocals are really palatable.
Yeah, this song I remember loving as a kid. I loved the really high-pitched vocals. And I remember like being in my bedroom in Woolwich listening to this. It's a really weird. It's just like listening to it now. It's like unlocked a part of my brain that I'd completely forgotten. But yeah, I remember the song, and it's good. I like it. It is one of the beloved ones.
It's fascinating when you hear a particular song and it brings you back to a specific place.
Yes.
Going Away to College. I like the guitar melodies here, but when it kicks in, there's a real sense of Blink-182 familiarity here. I'm not sure it has anything that really stands out. Even the chorus is just okay.
I really like the song.
Okay.
It's fast, upbeat. If I saw this live, I'd be very like happy, you know. I've got there's no fault here. I've got no issue with it.
Think about me and I won't forget you. I'll write you once a week, she said.
Okay then. What's My Age Again? I'd say this is the most famous track on this album, if not for one of Blink's most famous tracks coming up. But we'll get to that. Look, This track is overplayed. It is, big time, like a lot of this album. But I still think this one is a lot of fun. It's bouncy and summery, with a very anthemic chorus and some cool melodies that almost have a bit of a somber feel.
Yeah, I think that's laden throughout Blink-182's music, right?
Yeah.
Some of their stuff is quite like, it's like, oh, we're happy and fun, but like some of the lyrics are a bit like, eh.
Yeah,
This
they
song
would
is exactly that.
they would
And if you
take that and run with that in future albums.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you try to look at the song without well, trying to think of it as a song that hasn't been like overplayed, you don't hear it constantly, like there's so much you can pick out and enjoy here, and it's like when it gets slower, it's like that's really great.
Mm.
And like some of the lyrics are really funny and stuff, but once you've heard them a million fucking times, you're like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Like,
I hear it and I immediately think of the video.
yeah, I do. And I swear to God, if I get a cake on my 23rd birthday that has the Blink-182 self-titled fucking cover on it, I'm gonna kick off.
Dysentery Gary. This is a cool track with a bit more creativity in her sound, really making use of melody and adding a few flare-like moments to the guitar parts.
I think this song really struggles with where it sits in the track listing because it
Mm.
sits between giant songs, and I think this song as well, it's good, but it's too out there and different for your average Blink-182 listener. It's not particularly accessible compared to the stuff that surrounds it. I think it struggles as a result.
Well put, particularly as you've kind of mentioned then what's coming next, and it's Adam's song. Now, it is easy to balk at Blink-182 music that passes the 4-minute mark, but then you remember that they can write music with a bit more heart and soul. And this is a good example of this. I like this a lot. I think it's a great showcase of their depth. The melody is really nice, the vocals are strong, and it holds my attention all the way through. Came really pleased listening to this track again.
Yeah, this kind of I don't listen to it. I don't put it on much because it upsets me. I can't lie.
Mm.
This song is great. I listened to it when I was younger. It upset me then. You know, it's got a lot of emotion, a lot of memories attached to it for me personally, and yeah, it's great. It sits right in the middle of a very upbeat, kind of happy album. And it's really it's quite jarring if you're listening to it in full. But I think as well, I really want to highlight the drumming on this song. Considering how slow the song is, obviously Travis Barker he's known to be very talented drummer, but there's so many great fills here, and so much stuff that really changes the tempo and like upbeatness of the song.
Yeah, can't fault Travis Barker as a drummer in any way, shape, or form. Okay, all the small things. Look, I'm going to do it. Didn't listen to it, not listening to it, ain't talking about it, move on. If I never hear this song again, I will die a happy, happy man. I get it. I get why it's so popular, but fuck off. It is one of the most overplayed songs in the rock alternative world completely. As soon as it kicked in, it went, din, I went, skip. I don't need to say nothing about this track. No, no, never want to hear it again. Never want to hear it again.
Yeah, I can't lie. I never gave a shit about this track either. It's not particularly interesting to me. There's once again so better songs surrounding it.
It's pure accessibility. It's designed, it's created to be played and make people go, isn't that funny? Do you see the funny video when they're dressed up like the Backstreet Boys? And yeah. The party song. A lazy, uninspired track with nothing of note, aside from some faster vocal lines.
Oh no. I don't mind the song.
Okay. All right.
Lyrically, it's not particularly creative, but I like how fast it is. And it's stupid, it's silly, and it's like if you try and forget the fact, like I think if I'd listened to this when it come out, I would have been like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, in the 90s or whatever. But I think in the big year of 2024, it comes off a little bit cringe.
And then I saw her standing there with green eyes and long blonde hair. She wasn't wearing underwear, at least I prayed that she might be the one. Maybe we'd have some fun, maybe we'd watch the sunrise. But that night I learned some girls tried to...
Fair enough. That is about this album not aging well. There are many cringe lines. Mutt. So these are the songs that everyone forgets. And in the case of Mutt, I'm not sure why, as this has strong vibes that combines melody and energetic punk rock well. It's infectious while having a more robust rhythm that you can drink in.
I think Mutt has a different issue. It's
Mm.
very clearly mixed differently to the rest of the songs and kind of sounds like shit.
Right. What I noticed that too. What the fuck happened there? Is this was done either at a different time and then thrown in this album or something? Because that's well off.
I don't know. It's something to do with the drums and the kick drum. It is
Mm.
so loud. The kick, it overpowers everything, and you can't. All you can. It's like Tom's voice is like I'm listening to it right now, and it's only in my right ear.
Mm.
Obviously, I know you don't get the full depth of like
I
stereo
don't.
because you're deaf in one ear, but
Mm.
it's fucked up.
Indeed, I did notice that as well. I still end up liking it, but there's definitely something well off about that. Penultimate track, Wendy Clear. Less so, this is more forgettable. I find it boring overall. Even if it begins with some flair that I like, it might seem like it's going to offer something new. Again, though, I also noticed here that the mix is a bit off and the vocals didn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I could hear that. It's definitely not up to standard as like some of the other songs. But I remember this song and I remember liking it. I think as a kid as well, I didn't understand like popularity of songs, so I would just listen
Yep.
to whatever I like the sound of most. I think sometimes you can be a bit more inclined. Like if you're looking at an album and you can see the streams, you might be a bit more inclined to go for one that's got loads of streams because you're like, okay, cool, this is the popular choice, right?
But that didn't exist
Um,
back then for you either, streaming.
no, I just had them on a little iPod.
Mhm. Okay, last but
But
not
yeah,
least, we've
it's a
got
good
Anthem.
track.
Okay, well, last but not least, we've got Anthem, and I don't care for this because for me, when I think of Anthem, I think of Anthem Part 2, which is an absolute banger. Where this one is just a good track overall. That's about as much as where I get from it.
I was going to say basically the exact same thing. It's just like
Yeah.
I know Anthem Part 2 and I know how good that song is, but this one's just not as good. So I would just go listen to the other one.
But good things come to those who wait, 'cause she laid me. And mom and dad possess the key. Instant slavery. No need explain the plan, no need to even bother.
There you go. Is exactly that. Anthem Part 2 is the banger. Right. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Okay. Top 3 tracks. I think we might actually be quite close on this one. So I'll go first, and I've chosen Aliens Exist, What's My Age Again, and Adam's Song.
Ooh, okay. I've chosen Adam's song. Yeah, because that's great. I think I like Going Away to College. And Aliens Exist, yeah.
Had to be different though. One just had to be, didn't you?
Yeah. Had to.
Still, yeah, I mean, Adam's Song, arguably the strongest one overall, definitely, but you definitely check out Aliens Exist. If you're not too familiar with those particular tracks on the album where it's got Dump Weed, What's My Age Again, All the Small Things, and those famous ones, do check out some of the lesser known ones, particularly if it's been a while. You might appreciate them more than maybe you did when you were younger or when you first heard it and so on. That is Enema of the State by Blink-182, our track by track. You got any thoughts you want to share? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.